the average week, I hear thousands of gay put-downs.
I just had like a busted lip. I got beat up a few times, and one day there was an incident where somebody pushed me down 2 flights of stairs.
You had this young man who was little. You had this young man who didn't wear the trendy clothing. You had this young man who was really smart. You had this young man who was perceived as gay, and he was tormented to death. And the school that was asked to intervene and help by his family failed to do so. That's the story as I know it. I have lost kids before. I have lost kids to drunk drivers. I have lost kids to illness. I have lost kids lots of ways, but we've never lost a hatch kid to suicide. Kids are bringing us their very real grief and their very real pain, and we can't talk to them from our adult perspective of that happens to everybody. This is the first time that child is experiencing that pain, and we've got to remember what that felt like if we're going to adequately respond to them.
A lot of times I wanted to commit suicide, do a lot of other stuff, and I regret it, but I did want to do it. Just walk off the edge of a pier and hope to goodness I drowned.
My first girlfriend killed herself, and that is not a good end for anyone to have.
One of the things we do at Hatch is every youth fills out a personalized suicide prevention plan. And the first thing on every youth's plan is go to Montrose Counseling Center and give this to the receptionist. And not a quarter goes by where some Hatch youth does not come into the counseling center waving their suicide prevention plan saying, I am a Hatch youth, and they get seen right then. Those of us who are adults, who are fully adjusted and happy with our sexual orientation and gender identity and sexuality and all of those things that make it so wonderful to be queer, remember when we weren't this person. And we are all too aware that Asher could have been us. We just got lucky. This also happens every day to the fat kid, to the tall kid, to the child who doesn't match the current standard of physical attractiveness, to the kid who has 2 mommies, to the kid who lives on the wrong side of the tracks. This happens to children all day, every day.
Walking through the mall and having people stare or pull their children closer, like, you know, they're going to catch something.
My worst thing having to deal with from being gay is probably the rejection of the church that I was part of.
The moment society comes knocking on your mind at 5 years old in church and tells you, man, woman, man, that's it. No matter, can't be one. You have to be one or the other. Can't be in between. Can't be gay. You have to have a straight heterosexual relationship. Going to hell. How am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through this? And I started thinking about everybody at Hatch, all the new people I met, and this was only about 2 weeks after I even started Hatch. Started thinking about everybody I liked, naming their names, putting their faces. It's an accepting place. I mean, I probably would have never thought of anything being this expensive, especially in Texas. I mean, Texas is an awesome state, don't get me wrong, but we're also heavily redneck too.
And Hatch has really allowed me to be myself.
It helped me socially. It also helped me deal with a few problems that I was having. And it also gave me opportunities to reach out and help other youth.
Just hang on, it gets better. Just hang on, it gets better. Now, teenagers are very, very, very impulsive. And one of the things that people who work in youth suicide prevention know is you must delay. If we can just delay to they're 18, things will be so much better for them.
It gets easier as you get out into the world. I mean, it's much different being in high school and living in a small town. There are members of Congress that are gay. There are writers and journalists that are gay. I mean, Alexander the Great was gay.
You don't have to be alone.
You don't have to be alone. There's plenty of help out there, and in fact, if you ever find me on the street, just ask, because I'll be more than happy to help you.
We're going to keep you alive, and that's the way it works.